I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Guys, oh my goodness, it is episode 7. We're almost there. We're almost at the end. We're going to see what happens to this crazy crew. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Of course, it's Sunday night. We're too hot to handle. AfterBuzz TV, your after show. My name is Mike Feeling. You know that you love this show. I know you've been rolling with us the whole time, so you know the rest of my panel. First off is Jessie Zahner.
Hey guys, join us in the live chat. We're in there now.
Yes. Talk to Jessie. She wants to hear what you have to say, and she wants to tell all of us, including Tori, what's up.
Yes, don't ever hire any of these people to be your accountant besides Kels, because they are going to blow your money.
Yeah, well, Kels will probably get angry with you if you spend your own money. Right, Kelsey?
That's right. But solid advice, Tori. I mean, I'm here for that. Thanks, girl.
Oh, we got all sorts of tips here, financial tips, love tips. We're going to do it all with episode 7. Guys, you've been hanging out with us. You know how we do it. We're going to go through this episode by all the plot points. We'll discuss all the shenanigans. And then, of course, all 4 of us are going to give some big predictions for what we think is going to go down in the finale. Remember, we're covering the finale tomorrow at 3 p.m. PST. Am I right, ladies?
Yes, you are.
3 p.m. PST tomorrow, which is Monday. But until then, we got to get through this episode that's going to set it up. So let me go back around the opposite way. Let's get some overall thoughts for episode 7. Kelsey.
This was a good episode. I was very excited. I was here for it. I was like, ooh, more stuff is happening. I loved the workshop for the ladies. I'm like, I'm going to go do that. You go, girls. All the female empowerment, especially how it started out like a little catty with a few of them and then ended positive. I loved it. I loved it.
Nice. Tori?
Yeah, I'm definitely here for the growth. I mean, it did kind of feel like we took like all these steps forward and like a mini step back, but that's okay. I think that we can honestly say that there are some solid like relationships in the on the, I almost say in the pods, like it's Love is Blind, but on the island, I think that there are some developing relationships. So I guess, I don't know if the money's worth it, but it's cool.
Might not matter if the money's worth it if it's all gone. Jessie?
I mean, I was excited that we had a girls' workshop and that they connected like the guys did, but I felt like the guys was a little bit better. It was like more of a bonding experience for them than the girls. So I was looking for a little bit more out of that. However, aside from that, we're losing a ton of money, but I do feel like there is some growth out of some people. So
we're losing a ton of money. I'm glad you said that. I felt the same way. I thought the guys got a lot more out of their gender-specific workshop than the girls did. We're going to talk about it. I actually thought their workshop was a little silly, but we'll go through and we'll talk about it. Let's start right at the top. Lydia and David is sleeping together in the same bed. Of course, Francesca and Harry, big brain argument over how to say oregano. Definitely oregano, definitely not oregano. Right?
Oregano. Sure.
Okay, good. Triple checking. And then we shout out to producer Steven, who's got the mic on. Everybody back at AfterBuzz HQ is starting to we got one last show, guys. Gotta keep it together. Okay. Chloe wants to go on a date with Cory because supposedly he hasn't seen all sides of her yet. Ooh. And however, Cory, and of course, this show, if nothing else, is very good at foreshadowing, doesn't think he really likes her that much and straight up tells Harry. And Harry's basically like, yeah, bro, have fun, do you on the island if that's how you feel. Of course, foreshadowing what goes down with them. I thought, and let's get a real quick around. Jessie, I thought this was a actual bonding moment between the two of them. I was feeling good about it for this point.
between Cory and Chloe?
Between Cory and Harry, kind of broing out and like, yes, part of us.
So this is where I get mixed up with these guys because I thought that they had a really good conversation beforehand. So I thought Cory was going to stick to that, kind of like the David and Sharon conversation. Like, I think we all are hoping that everybody is friends now and we're getting along and we're growing. But as we can see, that's not exactly what happens.
Yeah. Ladies, do you agree? Tori, Kelsey, we're kind of we're feeling it or no?
I thought that they were going to have some type of respect, but honestly, it was kind of 50-50 just because of how Cory has been kind of coming into all of this and his opinions on everything. I wasn't too confident that he was just going to respect boundaries just because he had one conversation, and obviously, like, he didn't.
Right. Kelsey, same.
I kind of agree. I mean, I was the initial one to be like, yes, I love Cory. He's attractive. And then he opened his mouth and I was like, come on, Cory. So I think that when I was watching, I was like, oh, he's BSing this whole thing. And I agree with you, Mike. It's like the foreshadowing in this show is phenomenal. So you're like, this is happening for a reason. Yeah. And he's about to go after Francesca. Like, come on now.
Good on you, editors. Very good job.
Yeah,
I'm going to let's partition the next part out, because it's probably the one and only time we're actually going to be serious for tonight and tomorrow, I'm guessing, for the rest of this show. It comes out that Rhonda has a son. Okay. So Rhonda has a son, and she's trying to decide when the right time is to tell Sharon. Obviously, in a brand new relationship, if there are single parents, that's going to be a big deal. When do you introduce your kid to your potential mate, right? Because if you're going to introduce the kid, that's already signaling that this is, more serious, or at least traditionally, that's the way I tend to look at it. And then later during the ladies' exercise, she kind of purposely or lets it slip that she has a kid, and all the women know now. And then she takes Sharon aside and she says, I'm just missing my kid. She just kind of slips it in there. And he seems really, really cool with it. My question, and I don't want to get hate in the comments or anything like that, so let's just put it up right now. No judgment whatsoever. We're not judging. Let's just have the discussion. I immediately thought back, and I'm going to date myself, to the original Temptation Island, okay, which is a similar-ish vein to this kind of show. When they found out that the one couple had a kid, they cut him from the show immediately. Like, no, you're not going to do this show. You guys are going to go to counseling instead to try to, obviously it's a little bit different because that was potential marital things. Did you have any kind of weird sense that she participated in this show because she had a kid, and this show is kind of promoting a lot of promiscuity? You know what I mean? Jesse?
Oh,
I mean, I actually really didn't think anything of it. I just didn't. I mean, we're all humans, and we're all just like, just trying to make it. No one, like, who can say what's right and wrong? But I agree, like, the show is like a little promiscuous, but I still don't find that there's anything wrong with it. And like, I really feel like she has done a good job the entire time of the way that she's portrayed herself, even in the intros, which we've talked about before, being very rough. I've always liked her from the beginning. So I think she does a really good job on the show. I never thought, like, when she said she had a kid, I was never like, oh my God, you shouldn't be on the show. Because again, like, we're all humans and we all make mistakes and whatever else, but I think she's doing a good job. And I mean, just because you're a parent, I mean, because I am a parent, like, you don't lose who you are, I mean, you do kind of, because you're different, but you don't lose everything about you. So I think it's cool that she went on the show. And I think when she did it for the girls, it was almost like a test to see how they were going to take it before she did it to Sharon. Because she just kind of threw it out there. And I thought the girls had known, but they didn't. But everyone took it well. And so, I think it was kind of like a test.
Tori, what did you think of the whole child revelation here?
Yeah, it was really interesting. Because I guess the viewers kind of found out at the same time. Am I right? I think we all found out at the same time that she had a son. But like Jesse said, I didn't really think anything of it. I think in the early ages of reality TV, having a kid and being on a reality show, specifically a dating one, was like this big thing, and it was pretty taboo to do. But I think as TV has evolved, it's not that much of a, I don't want to say like issue, but it's not that big of a topic. And I think as long as she's comfortable with it, her family's okay. And that eventually when it gets down the line, and I guess she'll explain to her son the reality TV that she's done, as long as she's comfortable with that, I think there's no problem. And like Jesse said, I think she's carried herself in a very respectable way throughout this entire series.
Yeah. Kelsey, what'd you think?
Yep, I agree wholeheartedly with you both. I think that from the beginning, she's been one that we all have said she holds herself well. She, kind of has shown up and given her all and been who she was, like, and she doesn't come across as like this promiscuous person. She was there for a relationship and for the connection and for like self-growth. And I mean, yeah, when it comes to that time, her son's young, I'm assuming, it's like when it comes to that time, she's going to have to explain to him. And I don't think that she did anything wrong.
Yeah, I knew when they brought it up that we were going to have to talk about it on the show, because it's probably the only literal serious kind of thing. Whenever you have kids come in, it makes everything a little bit more serious, and you got to take it serious. And so I knew we had to talk about it, but I honestly agree with all you guys. I think she's handled it herself, she's handled herself completely on the up and up, with a lot of class. She broke the rules, right? But it was for kissing and an actual relationship. And while she kind of entertained David a little bit, she really made the right choice with Sharon, and she kind of maintained true to finding that relationship and, going through the whole point of the workshop and the retreat to kind of go deeper and establish a really strong, meaningful connection. And it's kind of proof that she did, because if she didn't, we probably wouldn't know about the kid in general anyway. She probably would never have brought it up. So I kind of applaud her. And from the way Sharon reacted, seems like it's going pretty good. Seemed like he was down. It was cool. Of course, time's going to tell if any of these crazy kids stay together after the show wraps. But I think his reaction is probably as good as you could possibly expect for a single mom coming in and having to tell a new boyfriend, hey, I have a kid. So I thought that was pretty awesome. Very, very good. Okay, we'll move on. Now let's get back to being silly and ridiculous. So
Perfect.
Now, Cory starts to move in a little bit on Francesca. Right when he was done talking to Harry, and we had a little little bro code thing. We heard about bro code, but he's nuzzling up to her in the pool, asking if she's going to make any more mistakes and yada, yada, yada. And of course, foreshadowing, hook it up, Lana comes through and tells Cory that he gets to pick a date. First time I think anybody has picked an official date from Lana, right? Cory, right in that moment, who did you think he was going to go with?
Oh, I knew it was going to be trouble when they said that he had the option to pick. I was like, he is not picking Chloe, which breaks my heart. I knew he was going to pick Francesca. Like, just the way that he's been talking in the confessional, I was like, I already know how this is going to play out, unfortunately.
Kelsey, did you think Chloe had a shot?
No. I totally agree. You knew he was, given the option and the way they like produced it and portrayed it, it was like he wouldn't have gotten the option if they knew he was going to pick Chloe, and obviously he wasn't, so just to stir up some trouble, they gave him the option.
And of course, Jesse, Kel's loving this because this feels like some kind of karma, I guess, coming back around. But Ever the Scholar, of course, makes that keen observation. You don't walk in someone else's shoes. You should always have your own footsteps and your own shoes. What's happening? Did you think Chloe had a shot? Is this sweet revenge somehow? What is this?
So I didn't think Chloe had a shot because originally when they first came to the island, he said he liked Francesca. So I was like, I was waiting for that moment, but I still am in the mindset that they are here to screw things up. So when she said, who are you going to pick? I'm like, oh, I'm going to pick Francesca because he's the guy that's here to bomb all these relationships like the grenade that he is.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
The grenade he is.
If we find out tomorrow on the last episode that that's truly what they were there for,
I know.
That would be amazing. And of course, guys, if you're watching us, AfterBuzz has you guys covered throughout this quarantine. We're doing after shows still for all the shows that you guys love. Give us a subscription, give us a thumbs up, rate us 5 stars, all the good stuff. Jesse's live with you guys right now in the chat. So let us hear what you guys think about all these crazy situations. Let us give you some shout outs as we go through this. Of course, he does pick Francesca. No big surprise there, right? And Francesca finds out about it while she's hanging out with Harry, right? And Sharonda, right? So we have the only 2 solid couples hanging out with each other. And then Lana comes through and says, Francesca, sorry, Cory wants to go on a date with you. And for a split second, I'm gonna be honest, she says to Harry, I thought this is very endearing. She says, I don't want to go on a date with him. I want to go on a date with you. Tori, in that split second, did you think she was just gonna flat out refuse?
Yeah, I did actually, because Harry made it, I think right after that, he was like, yeah, we haven't even had a date yet. And I think it would be fair to like the person that you have a connection with, that's obviously the person that you want to spend quality time with. So I thought in that split second that she was going to be like, I'm not going unless somebody sets up a date with Harry and I.
Yeah. And of course,
and Harry.
our smarmy commentator kind of keeps us hanging on and on and on. And Jesse, we know that she does decide to go on a date with him. literally saying, I'm ready for a test. I wrote this down somewhere. I'm ready for her test. And my inner urges want me to go. I mean, is there any reason besides good television to say yes to this instead of just keeping on the straight and narrow?
No, I really thought that she was just not going to go on the date. And I was like, wow, you are a changed woman. And then she's like, I can like stand up to this test. But then in the like confessional, she was like saying things like, you know, just things that the old Francesca would say, which is exactly what the narrator was saying. And I'm like, girl, you could not have come this far with this guy. And now you're going to go back and do all this. I was like, oh my God. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what she was thinking.
When she accepted and we found out she was going to go, did you think that's it? Her and Harry are over. They're done now.
No.
I didn't think that at all. I didn't think that they were going to be done. I do think that it was probably wise to just kind of go with her gut feeling, which is refuse the date. Because I feel like when you give people an inch, they take a mile and a half. And I just feel like it would have, I think maybe it would have been a stronger statement if she just would have left him on that date by himself, just so he, like, there was nothing in his mind that even thought that he had a chance, and then that wouldn't have caused anything with Chloe either. And I think that's a much stronger statement. Like, sometimes the best thing to say is nothing at all. And I'm like, I understand her point that she went down there to, you know, just kind of like shut it down and tell him exactly how she felt about Harry. But I mean, I don't know, like in my head, I feel like he still felt like he got a little victory because she gave him the time of day.
She did, but in that victory comes some kind of defeat because now Chloe is super pissed, right? So Rhonda comes through. The girls are it seems like the girls are constantly doing their makeup. The girls are in the makeup chairs in front of the mirrors. And Rhonda tells Chloe that, you know, Cory is going to take Francesca. And she all about kind of loses it, just kind of goes off completely. Obviously, we know now, you know, she wasted $3,000 kissing him. She gets super upset. Nicole gets upset for her. What's the overall thought? Kelsey, does she have a right to be really pissed? Or is it just like, come on, this is reality show dating. You guys weren't engaged or anything, whatever.
You know, I think she has a right to be pissed at Cory. Where I don't think she has the right to be pissed is I don't think she has the right to be like super pissed at Francesca, to be honest. I hate when girls like get mad at other girls and completely forget about the guy.
But she dressed up like a Barbie, Kelsey.
I know.
She dressed up like Barbie.
And Francesca kind of like came to this like revelation at the end. She was like, yes, I should have been more considerate and aware of your feelings. But I'm like, do not like shit on her. We should be shitting on Cory. I think she had the right to be mad. And I think that he led her on. And even she said, she was like, you said you wanted to go on a date with me. So don't say you want to go on a date with me. And then when you have the choice to choose, like, you're not going to pick me. I would have been pissed too. I think she was a little too crushed, but I also think she was crushed because he was the shiny object, the new shiny object that she actually, I think, maybe had the most interest in out of all of these guys. So I think she was just a little like felt a little burned by that. But again, I think she could be mad at him because screw Cory, but like, I don't think she should have been mad.
I mean, she didn't examine her yoni yet, so she didn't truly know who to be mad at.
You're so right. You're so right.
Right. So Harry says, I think rightly so, like how he's pushed past kind of who he is to be with her. He says there's no way she's going to make a mistake or anything. In that moment, I was like, Harry, what the hell are you talking about, dude? Like, you got maybe a 50-50 shot that she just like goes to the fantasy suite on her own accord with this guy and break the lock and do whatever. So, but we get a very kind of innocent date between the two of them. She basically like this kind of weird flirty thing, right? Jesse, like, oh, you're so hot and blah, and whatever. And then at the end, she just says, what Harry and I have is impossible to find, and I don't want to ruin it. And I thought, wow, you really turned this into an epic relationship in a very little bit of time.
Yeah. I mean, I was worried for a little while, and I actually was feeling bad for Harry because he was like laying in the bed with David, and I'm just like, oh, these like hours or minutes must be like killing him trying to find out what's going to happen.
There's nothing else to do. Yeah,
I know. And he just has to think about it. And I was worried because she was acting like flirting and stuff with Cory. So I was just like, don't mess this up. I definitely thought she was going to. The way he was talking in all these reality shows, they always show like the person says this and then the exact opposite happens. So I thought that's what was going to happen. So I was so relieved when nothing happened and she came back and she told him. I was just like, thank God.
Yeah. And so it all gets resolved. But let's go back to what Kelsey was talking about, Tori, because Chloe's still super pissed, takes Francesca aside, and basically is like, yo, what you did is messed up, and I hate you, and I'm not going to talk to you anymore for the next week, I guess, that we're on the island. Is this like a nuts overreaction?
I think it's pretty layered, honestly. I definitely understand where Chloe is coming from, just because if you look at it this way, the girls have been, for the most part, those girls, Francesca and Chloe, have been in the house with each other the longest. So they're, in terms of like friendships in the house, compared to, Chloe and Cory, their relationship is a little bit stronger. They have, they've talked, I'm sure they've talked a lot more off camera than we've been able to see about their feelings, whether anyone feels like they're premature or anything. Like, even if we all just feel like Chloe is moving way too fast with Cory, then okay, but there's still her feelings. And so I understand, because honestly, Cory comes in and he has no loyalty to anyone, which we already know.
Sure.
And even though he's a guy and he led her on, he still doesn't, like, he's still a new guy. So I think she was frustrated, because here you are thinking that someone is your friend and you've supported, like Chloe, I mean, I don't think she had a chance with Harry because Harry didn't really like show any interest, but Chloe, I think, if I'm not mistaken, kind of liked Harry a little bit in the beginning, and she completely laid off after she saw that Harry liked Francesca.
True.
And so I think that she was just kind of like expecting that same respect that everyone has had for each other. I think that no one has gone after Sharon since they saw that he was in Toronto. Like, no one has really, besides Kels, I don't think anybody has really like crossed a boundary. And so I think that she just felt like, if we're the women in the house and we haven't really had any issues so far, and we've all respected each other when it comes to everyone else, why couldn't I get that same respect, even if you feel like I just met this guy, which she did? I think that's where she was coming from. And while, yes, she should have been equally as mad at Cory because he was just talking out the side of his neck and saying things that he didn't mean, I think she was more frustrated because she actually expects a certain type of loyalty from someone she considered to be a friend. I mean, they're sharing swimsuits, so clearly there's some sort of like connection between the two. They must be like some level of friends, even if it's just surface level. So I think that's why she was so frustrated.
Yeah, not angry enough to give the bikini back. Not angry enough.
Right.
That makes a lot of sense, especially when you think about it in a whole with everybody there, because everybody has been generally kind of respectful, just like you said. It seems like it's more of a thing that it went unresolved, that Cory didn't say, hey, we shared that thing, but I just got caught up in the moment. I don't think we're really a match. And, I just wanted to, man up and tell you, I'd really like to take Francesca out or something like that. Like, would that make it okay, Kelsey? Or do we think just no matter what happens, Francesca should have just said no flat out?
No, I see both sides, because honestly, I was like a little taken aback when she said yes. I don't think it's bad that she took the date and then ended up like showing Harry that she could say no, because again, this relationship has not been like years. It's been a couple weeks. So she's like, okay, I'm going to test these waters. This is what my insides are saying. So I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to prove to myself, if I feel nothing else, that like Harry is the one, and Harry's the one I want to be with. So I think that would have had or played a huge role, if Cory had actually been a gentleman and chatted and communicated and shown Chloe like, hey, I like you. But he was just spitting game. He was like saying everything that like she wanted to hear, and it wasn't everything he felt. So he was lying.
You said a word there that we haven't heard on this show yet, gentleman. I'm not quite sure what that means.
I know.
Doesn't matter. We're gonna move on to the women's workshop. Coming back is Shan. Shout out to the new Quibi host, Shan. Of course, this is a women's only workshop, Yoni Puja, which literally breaks down to vagina worship. Okay. Woo! Gonna try to do this without getting our show demonetized. So the women have to shout out all the negative things they've heard about that female body part. Then they all have to get bottomless behind the little wall things and look at their vaginas with the mirrors that are provided. Some, to me, seemed way too surprised at what it looked like. Then, as the guys got to do, they got to do a little art project where they were supposed to draw their yoni. Yes. So, and then they displayed it to everybody else. So let me run through this real quick. What everybody drew. Francesca, of course, thinks hers looks like heaven. Chloe thinks that hers doesn't look normal because it's not like the ones she's seen in porn. And she also doesn't know how to spell condom. Here's what they all drew. Nicole drew a unicorn, rightly pointed out an animal that doesn't exist and is fictional. Francesca drew a cat, which is like a literal euphemism, right? Madison just wrote a bunch of words in a heart. Lydia put the entire earth inside of her yoni. Chloe drew a butterfly, but also surrounded her vagina with a condom and correctly asserted that she shouldn't just give it to anybody, should not. Big revelation. And then Rhonda, of course, reveals the child, that she has a child, and drew what to me looked like fallopian tubes. After everybody went, Francesca was like, I'm stupid, why did I draw a cat? Okay, so
a lot to unload here.
It's a lot to unpack. We're talking female empowerment, right? Obviously, you guys talk to this a lot better than me. We're talking female empowerment, but from a base thing, it didn't seem that this was empowering or as connecting as what the guys did. The guys wrote, here are my problems and what's holding me back, and we're going to destroy what's holding me back. And now this didn't seem to have that kind of, mass to it, Jesse.
I totally agree. I think there must be something that we're missing here, because I do feel like it just didn't have the same emotional connection as the guys that did. Like the guys revealed something really deep about themselves to each other. So it's not just them seeing it, it's the other guys seeing it. Sure. So I just feel like with this, there must have been another piece, because you don't just take a look down there, draw a picture and be like, oh, girl power. Like it just doesn't work like that. So I feel like we're missing a piece. And they just like put the funny things on the show, but we didn't see like what got them to the point where they're like, women's power, let's do this. I'm, amazing.
Yeah. It seemed like Tori, it didn't seem like there was the bonding. There was no mud putting on each other and hugs and this kind of stuff. What'd you think?
Yeah, and I think at first, like my initial reaction was definitely like everyone else, just saying that like there's no real bonding here. I mean, we're all on separate wooden stages or whatever, but I think after seeing the whole exercise play out, I think that was kind of the point. I think it was definitely to kind of push those gender boundaries that society has. Like the guys' workshop was more about bonding and letting the guard down, because often like society tells men that they're not allowed to do that. And then for the women workshop, I think it was more so about like not negatively viewing something that's a part of your body, because even though it was a funny little clip, what Chloe said was true. Like a lot of women start to feel self-conscious about parts of their body because it doesn't look the perfect way with all these photoshopped filters like it does on everyone else. And so it's crazy, because I think a lot of women haven't done that exercise and don't know what to really expect when they look at themselves in the mirror. And so I think it was more so that was like more of the point, was just kind of learning how to respect self and not letting other people determine how you should feel about things that are a natural part of you. Like I think we can all agree that the exercises they did would cause a lot of negative comments in the world if they were to do that. But like a guy doing it is not that big of a deal. So I think the point of the workshops were to kind of break down those barriers, and I don't think they were geared to have the same type of results.
Yeah, that's totally fair. Of course, we're all in quarantine right now, and I think many, many thousands of mirrors were taken out of their closets after this episode. Kelsey, what did you think of the workshop?
I agree actually with Tori. I liked it at the end. I was kind of like, I think that guys bond over talking about their like parts. I mean, even how many guys at the beginning were like, oh yeah, my penis is as big as this. Like that was their intro. and
What?
women
An aerosol
like,
can, wasn't it? It's like air freshener.
Yes, air
something
freshener.
like
Sure.
that. That was like, okay, cool, but like you never hear like women talk about that unless it's them being like objectified, like, oh yeah, like my boobs are this big or they were bigger and the guys like that. So I thought that it was all about them like appreciating themselves and being proud of what they had as individuals, and then like being able to talk about it like proudly and then with one another. So I liked it, you know. I thought
Good.
it was kind of cool. I understand what you guys are saying with like I do think we missed a part. Like I'm sure there was more to it. Like they sat and chatted about it more. But I thought I understood it.
Cool. I mean, it seemed to work from them because they all came back like really raw, like ready to go.
Mhm.
Right away, Chloe is like, Cory, let's go. We're talking. Right. And she kind of laid it
Yeah.
all out there. And I was like, Cory, you're kind of being a jerk here, dude. Like, she is completely right.
Yeah.
Again, we talk often for these shows optics, optics, optics. Are reality shows somewhat scripted? Yeah, they're not 100% real. We all know that. However, you're still a real person. You're going to come back. You're not playing a character. You're going to come back as Cory. This would seem from the outside looking in that even if you're in this situation, you can go, hey, there's a good way for me to handle this. You know what? You're right. And I'm sorry. It was a gut thing. And that's how I was feeling. And you're right. I did you wrong. And you don't deserve that. Jesse, that's not what we got.
Right. I mean, first, I was so happy for Chloe for just like standing up for herself and just like going at him. But I'm also like not surprised at the result. And I'm happy about the result too, because it shows her who he is. And now she can just move on and like not be upset because you don't want to be around a guy that's like that, anyways.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Tori, were you glad she kind of stood up for herself a little bit more now?
Yeah, I'm glad that she like said exactly what was on her mind. I think she's never had a problem doing that before, so I wasn't necessarily surprised. But just with Jesse, I was really happy with the outcome. Of course, I was sad that it hurt her feelings, but I'm glad that he revealed his true colors. So now for the next episode, however long they're still there until the season finale, that she doesn't have to like stress over it. Like you know what I mean? Like when somebody shows you who you are, you take it for what it is and you walk out. And I think it's unfortunate, but we can't expect everyone to have the same level of maturity as everyone. I think that's just too good to be true. Like even in life, everyone who's the same age doesn't just automatically have this same level of maturity and common sense that we think they do. So like there has to be, you know, there's always going to be differing in opinions. I think that you can not agree with someone and not be as much of a jerk as Cory did. Because I mean, he could have said like, well, my intentions were to, you know, feel out everyone and kind of explore my options. Like he didn't have to say it the way that he did. But again, I think we're just expecting too much out of someone who came in with the label of a grenade anyway. So
yeah, it seemed like this odd, maybe not odd, unnecessary macho kind of tip when he could have literally just said, "You're completely right. I'm sorry. Like I was an ass. You're right, 100%." Kelsey, how'd you feel? How'd you feel when Francesca and Chloe make up?
Oh, I was happy. I mean, I said it from the beginning. I'm like, I hate when females bash females over shit that guys do, you know? And then like I agree that everyone plays a role. Like you say it takes two to tango. In this situation, it takes three to tango, right? So I was so happy, so thrilled, because I think that they both realized also, it was like, we don't need to be bashing each other. We need to be here for one another. And we are friends. We have been friends. We have a stronger relationship than either of us have with Cory, you know? So I was thrilled. And I honestly have to say, not being a big Francesca fan from the beginning, I'm proud of her. I'm so proud of her. I always loved Chloe, but Francesca, I'm like, you go, girl.
Yeah, I liked them getting back together. This is stupid stuff to fight about, especially like Cory and his guys you've known for 35 minutes. It's whatever, right? You might as well come out of this everybody being friends, because half of them are going back to the UK anyway, right? So whatever. And then super sweet, I think. David pops down, had his white collar shirt on. We knew he was ready for business, and he wants to take Lydia on a date, which just happened to be about 5 steps away from where the girls are hanging out anyway. And they have some drinks, and he says, let's be selfish. And they get a kiss. Tori, do we like this couple? Is David finally got what he deserves?
The verdict is still out. The verdict is still
No.
out. I'm not convinced. Like, even though
Yep.
in her confessional after the kiss happened, she said that she was starting to like understand the process of this whole thing, but I'm just not convinced. Of course, like I keep saying, there has to be conversations that we're not going to see because we can't see everything. But I'm just kind of like, what? When did y'all develop this deep connection to where y'all are, committed? Maybe it's just me like wanting to protect David and Chloe in this little like shell. I don't want them to get hurt, but I'm just kind of like, are we sure that we want to do, like, is it a $3,000 kiss? Like, is it really a $3,000 kiss?
Right.
But
is it worth it? And Jesse, sorry, go ahead.
I just really hope, like, I hope that it works out, but there's like 75% of me that thinks that it's not.
Yeah. I mean, Jesse, we've kind of said over and over again that there doesn't seem to be anything in the rules that you have to connect with somebody. You've got to be in a couple or anything like that. Do we feel weird? Because all four of us have said over and over that we like David. He seems like a really stand-up guy. Does it seem like he's trying too hard just to have something, or you think this is legit?
I don't know. I mean, it's getting late in the process, so I feel like, is it just that he's gone so long without anything that he's like dying for something, and there's nobody else on, in the house that he can connect with, so he just decides it's going to be her. But I don't know. Like, the verdict's still out for me too. Like, I don't know how I feel about Lydia. Like, I do appreciate that she says that she understands the process, but does she really understand? Does David really feel this way about her? Or is it just that it's been 3 weeks and he hasn't had anything, so he's like dying for something?
Yeah, needs a butt massage, Kelsey. What do you think of these two?
I agree with both of you guys. I think that, I don't know. I want to like hope for the best for both of them, and I hate like being judgmental about it, but it's like, Lydia, you've been there for a day. How are you guys have this for, like, what? I'm so confused. I feel like David's just feeling lonely because he hasn't made a connection thus far. And so this one girl who he thinks maybe it could happen with, he's just like jumping the gun on. And I don't know. I'm just like, you threw everything away that you've been building on, and you're like, oh no, let's do it. Like, I'm like, what? Excuse me. So I don't know.
Time moves really fast in the palapa. You gotta strike while the iron's hot. So everybody goes to sleep. Supposedly everybody's snoozy time, nappy time, night. However, we know, thanks to our night vision cameras, that they must know are there too, that something happens with Francesca and Harry. We're not sure. Only one of their heads is above the covers, and she is covered and hidden away. But I'm sure Lana's not watching at night, so no problem. Everything's gonna be fine. Everybody gets back together, gathered together in the palapa, of course, and we run down our penalties. So we knew from before, of course, that Chloe and Cory had the $3,000, but we already accounted for that last time. Of course, we've got Lydia and David with a kiss that knocked us down $3,000. So that's $49,000, right? And you can tell still that Kels is pissed at that kiss. What would be different if he actually had a girl with him to break some rules? But since it's everybody else, he's pissed. And then they really kind of float this and kind of keep us in suspense. But we find out that their activity, that I'm pretty sure we're not allowed to say on here, cost them $6,000. Francesca did. We should do, between now and tomorrow, I'll do a quick tally at how much Francesca has cost the group, because it's a lot. And so now they're down to $43,000. That's basically where the episode ends. I want to go around, guys. There's nothing really to say coming off of that, except that they have lost so much money now. Let's just go around real quick. Who got lost? Kelsey and Jesse, you guys lost your boy David. He couldn't hold out. I really thought he was going to rate.
I kind of forgot about that
one.
So you guys both lose David. And everybody else kind of stays the same. Let's just go around for some final thoughts, and let's just do some predictions for the finale. Jesse?
I really like this episode. I thought it was really interesting with the girls. Like, I just love seeing all the girls and all the guys, just the whole house getting along really well. I'm still not sure about the new people, if they are here for a reason other than just to join the group, because I think that might be unveiled later. But my prediction is there's going to be, I think there's going to be like a change in the rules where you only get the money if something happens. I don't know like what it is, but like there's some stipulation that is like only party you get the money because of whatever reason. I don't know what that is.
Wow. Something. Yeah, because the rules have never really been set out straight, right? Tori, Lana's never really given us here's A to Z exactly what you guys are doing. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, she never gave us the little rule book that IKEA usually gives you to put the stool together. But so I definitely think in this next episode, I can't really say exactly what it's going to be because I really don't know. But there's definitely going to be like a large twist, if not 2 or 3, as to who gets the money and how. I'm kind of just convinced that everyone's not going to walk away with an even amount, or if any, because at this rate we might not have anything to split up. But I think there's going to be like some large twist. There might be some like grenades revealed, like we really understand people's motives. I don't know. I think it's going to be like something super crazy. Then it also makes me wonder like why the grenades are there, because the season finale is already next episode.
Yeah, Kelsey.
Oh,
and
I also think, sorry.
Sure.
I also think that some people are going to be a little frustrated with Francesca because of the way the episode ended. I think that even though they're all kind of like on board with everyone making genuine connections, I think they kind of looked at that as a careless mistake from what I kind of gathered from the gas and side eyes that they had. So I think that's going to be either a conversation or it might cause some rift in the group again.
I keep waiting for Kels to throw a table. Kelsey?
I do too, but I'm so interested to see. I know what I think is that the money is not going to be equally split. I think some of them are going to walk away without anything and some of them are going to walk away with more. But I think that we're going to see things like Kels, who hasn't done anything really, like he hasn't done anything bad, but he also hasn't really made a connection or grown in like himself. So I think that we're going to see things like he expects more and he's not going to get it. I don't know. I'm so excited for this episode. I'm just like, I'm kind of with Jess. I think that the grenades, maybe not all of them, but at least like, I don't know, Cory, because he sucks. Like maybe Cory was there for all the wrong reasons, trying to like break them up. There has to be something. There has to be some twist, because I feel like up until now it's been like relatively smooth sailing.
Yeah, I'm excited. I want there to be some twist. I also want them to come season 2 with bigger twists. I want there to be more strategic element. Last thing real quick, and we'll go reverse order. Basically right now, let me toss this out, okay? We've got Sharonda. We've got Harry and Francesca. And let's say for argument's sake, we've got David and Lydia. That feels pretty solid. Do we think, Kelsey, there's any new coupling going to happen next episode?
Oof. I mean, kind of this whole time I've wanted Kels and Nicole to like get together.
All right.
I just don't think I don't think it's gonna happen. It would be like cool. That's me being hopeful. Besides that, no, I don't think so.
All right, Tori, anybody new gonna get together?
I'm such an indecisive Libra, but
I know.
if I had to like give a solid answer, I'm gonna say no. Only because like there's only one episode left, and like Kelsey, I kind of wanted Nicole to end up with Matt, but you see that's not gonna happen. So I don't know, but I also wonder if Matt and Haley might like make a guest appearance in the season finale.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. What if they're dating? Jesse, any new couples?
I don't think so. I just think it's too late in the season. I just don't see it happening.
I'm hopeful because I want to see some drama, but I think it's going to be fairly set. I don't know. I hesitate to think that the finale might be kind of a letdown because they're already kind of coupled up. It doesn't seem like anybody else is going to do anything. You know, Cory doesn't have anybody else to really try to break up. I don't know, guys. We are going to see. That is going to do it for episode 7. Thank you so much, everybody, hanging out with us all weekend, all 7 episodes. You guys have been here. We're reading your comments. We love you guys so much. Again, just a reminder, we're doing episode 8 tomorrow, which is Monday, April 20th at 3 p.m. PST. We hope you guys can join us live. Jesse's always in the chat reading what you guys have to say. Until tomorrow, Kelsey, make sure it's number 2, guys. Just remember, the number 1, Kelsey, we don't like this number 1. Kelsey, follow you
Kels Meyer 2 on everything. everything.
Not one. Don't go
Not
near
one.
one. Tori?
No.
You guys can find me on Instagram at Toxic Model or on Twitter at Tori with 2 E's.
Jesse?
You can find me all over social media at Athletic.
Guys, once again, thank you so much. Like I said in the beginning, AfterBuzz has got you guys covered. Watch all the different shows, anything you want to see. We've got an after show for you, many of them, including us four. We love seeing you all the time. My name is Mike Feeling. You can follow me everywhere at Mike Feeling. Until tomorrow when we say goodbye to the palapa, good night.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.